It is our turn to leave, even though the party is still in full swing. And we dread going out alone into the cold night. The knowledge of death is so terrifying that we live most of our lives in denial of it. And when someone dies, we struggle to acknowledge that straightforwardly and instead use euphemisms such as passed away or departed, which suggest that death is not final but merely a transition to something else. To help humans cope with their knowledge of mortality, all cultures have evolved a combination of beliefs and strategies that refuse to acknowledge the finality of death. Philosopher Stephen Cave argues that the quest for immortality has driven human civilization for centuries. He classifies our coping strategies into 4 plans. The first, or Plan A, is simply to try to live forever or as long as possible. If that fails, then Plan B is to be reborn physically after you die. In Plan C, even if our body decays and cannot be resurrected, our essence continues as an immortal soul. And finally, Plan D means living on through our legacy, whether that consists of works and monuments or biological offspring. All of humanity has always incorporated Plan A into their lives, but cultures differ in the extent to which they fall back on the other plans. In India, where I grew up, Hindus and Buddhists gladly embrace Plan C. In the idea that each person has an immortal soul that lives on after death by being reincarnated in a new body, even in a completely different species. The Abrahamic religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, subscribe to both Plans B and C. They believe in an immortal soul, but also in the idea that we will rise bodily from the dead and be judged at some point in the future. Perhaps this is why traditionally these religions insisted on burial of the intact body and forbade cremation. Some cultures, such as the ancient Egyptians, hedged their bets by incorporating all 4 plans into their belief systems. In grandiose tombs, they mummified the corpses of their pharaohs so that they might rise up bodily in the afterlife. But they also believed in a soul, called Ba, that represents the essence of the person and survives death. The first emperor of unified China, Qin Shi Huang, took a similarly multi-pronged approach to immortality. Having escaped many attacks on his life, conquered warring states, and consolidated his power, he turned his attention to seeking the elixir of life. He sent emissaries to pursue even the faintest rumors of its existence. Facing certain execution for their failure to find it, many quite sensibly absconded and were never heard from again. In an extreme combination of Plans B and D, Qin also ordered the construction of a city-sized mausoleum for himself in Xi'an, employing 700,000 men in the process. The tomb contained an army of 7,000 terracotta warriors and horses, all meant to guard the deceased emperor until he could be reborn. Qin died at the age of 49 in 210 BCE. Ironically, it may have been toxic potions taken to prolong his life that ultimately cut it short. Our ways of coping with death began to change with the arrival of the Enlightenment and modern science in the 18th century. The growth of rationality and skepticism means that although many of us still hang on to some forms of Plans B and C, deep down we have become less sure they are real alternatives. Our focus has shifted towards finding ways to stay alive and preserving our legacy after we die. It is a curious facet of human psychology that even if we accept that we ourselves will be gone, we feel a strong need to be remembered. Today, instead of constructing tombs and monuments,